The project was based on EtherCAT protocol. In the project, we have implemented an EtherCAT slave device and a master device. Uh, Starting with the introduction of the EtherCAT. EtherCAT stands for Ethernet for Control Automation and Technology. It is an Ethernet-based fieldbus protocol, and it is one of the fastest industrial Ethernet technology available today. Uh, it is a master-slave architecture, and it's connected in the daisy chain configuration as shown in this picture. This is the master, and there are these slaves connected. And the data exchange within the 1000 distributed digital I/O takes about 30 microseconds. So from that we can know that how fast the EtherCAT is, and so the main advantage and the benefits of this is due to its fundamental principle, which is very unique, and that is on the Ethernet on the fly. So what the Ethernet on the fly is, here the master is connected, and there are 5 slaves connected in daisy chain configuration. So the master initiates an EtherCAT frame. EtherCAT frame is basically an Ethernet frame. So the master uses the Ethernet technology for it. So first of all, it will initialize a frame, and the data is been read and written to the slave on the go. So over here we can see that the data exchange is done when the frame is passing through the slave. So there is no extra time involved in processing the data and the reading and writing the data, and the slave perform this reading and writing using the ASIC, which is available from various manufacturers. So the job of the ASIC is to take the frame, read the data which is addressed to that slave, and write the data in the frame. So over here we can see the data has been written for the slave 5 and for slave 6. So in this manner, and the frame returns again to the master, and master initiates that frame again, and it goes into loop as shown. Then what are the benefits of using Ethernet? In the master, you do not require any special hardware for that. Only your PC with an Ethernet port is just fine. And for the slave, we require an FPGA or ASIC, as I mentioned, and there is no need for any host controller, any application controller, powerful application controller. The ASIC communicates with the application controller using SPI. So, and all the timing functions and the processing of the frame and handling of the frames, writing the data, reading the data is done in the ASIC, which is on the hardware level. So there's very less or minimal time, only the propagation delays are introduced in reading and writing. And obviously the infrastructure, like in traditional Ethernet systems, we require switches and hubs to transfer the data. So in this EtherCAT, there are no switches or hubs required. So now we will be going to the implementation part, what we have implemented.
For the implementation of the master device, we required a Linux preempt RT stack. So this we can see here, this is the hardware specification of our master module, which is based upon a CPU of Intel Pentium, which is a quad-core processor, and the RAM support is 4 GB with HDD support of 100 GB. The OS was the Debian GNU Linux 9 stretch 64-bit, running on a kernel of 4.9.08 RT. The system is a real-time soft deterministic system. So this was the hardware specifications for our master device. As shown here in this diagram, these are the master states. So once the master is initialized, it is in the orphaned state. After the devices are connected on the Ethernet port, it goes into the idle state. And if there are any operations which are being performed and the master is requested, it goes into the operations frame. And vice versa to get into an orphaned state or a standby state. The next is the implementation of a slave. So as we know that EtherCAT is a master slave implementation. Once we are done with the master implementation, we have to go to the slave. The slave requires a minimal system. It is a microcontroller based system, and the implementation of a EtherCAT slave device actually requires the slave software design, the slave configuration file, which is the ESI file, EtherCAT slave information, which comprises of the slave alias, position ID, and all the relevant information required to configure a EtherCAT slave, and a slave controller device, and a state machine management device. So the slave controller device and the state machine management device is often provided by a EtherCAT slave controller, which in this case is an Arduino Shield based upon LAN 9252, which is a microchip developed ASIC IC for EtherCAT slave devices. So this was the slave implementation which we used for our project. Now moving on to the experiments which we performed. So the experiment was to get the histogram plot of our machine to be deterministic. So for that we created a thread and allotted a single core amongst the 4 cores available on our hardware, and we configured it to run at different interval rates or ping rates, and then we assigned the task priority to be maximum and requested the master for the slave identification. After the thread was created and executed to execute a cyclic task at a rate of different intervals, which were predetermined for our case, we went and took the results for 4 such cases scenarios, which were 10 milliseconds period cycle, 5 milliseconds period cycle, 1 milliseconds, and similarly for 0.5 milliseconds or 500 microseconds. So these were the histogram plots which we received for our experiment setup, wherein there was a single master and a single slave, and the data will go from the master to the slave, again will be returned to the slave, will be returned to the master, and we will collect the response time of our system and similarly plot the histogram for the same. So we were able to get this kind of histogram for 10 milliseconds. This was the histogram for 5 milliseconds. This was the histogram for 1 milliseconds, and then when we went on to 500 microseconds, we got a histogram which was more broader. So when it comes to histogram, the main objective is to keep the histogram as narrow as possible, and for a higher rate of 1 milliseconds compared to the 5 milliseconds and 10 milliseconds rate period cycle, the response which we received at 1 millisecond was pretty decent. So we selected the master to work at a response rate of 1 milliseconds. So the conclusion for this project was that we were able to get the best performance at 1 millisecond. Isolating the core was not that much of importance, or it didn't provide any system performance, greater system performance, because a general purpose CPU has restrictions on the BIOS priority levels, and we cannot directly disable the system interrupts. So this kind of interrupts in a systems programmed by the BIOS are generally they do have a higher priority than all the other user level priorities and interrupts, and this adds to the total latency of the software. To solve or overcome these problems, there are custom BIOS available which we can get from the manufacturers and the motherboard programmers, which can help us get a faster and a more achievable master implementation.